Hello everyone, in this class we'll be talking about the cloud hosted router. This is a virtual device that we can be running over a hypervisor, or we can be using a CHR in any cloud provider. So let's see how the CHR is going to work and how it's different from a router board. So a CHR is basically intended to use in a virtual environment. We can be running a CHR on VMware, different options like workstation, player. We can have ESXi, for example, Microsoft Hyper-V, VirtualBox, Xen, KVM, etc., etc., etc. Or we can be hosting that virtual router on Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, or any other public cloud provider. Basically, the idea is that we are going to have a hypervisor, and then in that hypervisor, we can have a virtual network. The CHR can be used, for example, to filter the traffic, to be used as a router that is going to be providing the IP connectivity inside that virtual network. There are several use cases. VPN, there are several companies that are running the VPN server on the cloud. Then they can establish a secure connection to the cloud, and then they can have access to resources running in the cloud, or simply to interconnect locations. Also, we can have a monitoring system like DUD. In one of the upcoming sections here in the course, we'll explore the DUD, the free monitoring system from Mikrotik. Also, we can have that running in the cloud, and then from there we can be checking the health and the status of all our network infrastructure. Or we can simply simulate networks, and that's something that we have been doing here in this course. We have GNS3 with an image of routeros, and that's also virtualization, and that is a CHR. So all of that, basically the limit is your imagination. So that's a CHR, pretty powerful device compared to an x86. The device is going to support more RAM memory, more storage, and is going to perform a lot better than the traditional x86 technology, because now we can have a 64-bit architecture. So that's how the CHR is going to work. About the licensing, so in this case there are no limit on the features. So basically the limit is at the interface level. Based on the license that we have, we are going to get a specific speed for that interface. Something pretty interesting about the CHR is that we have a free license. And that license can be running forever, but the only restriction is that it's going to be limited to 1 megabit per interface. But if you only need to be simulating networks, or you need to be sending a pretty small amount of data, that's something that can work. You don't have to pay anything. Just download the image, install the image, and then you can have that running forever. If you have this in production and then you will be sending more data, and then there is one license, that is the P1, that is going to be 1 gigabit per second, P10, 10 gigabits per second, and P unlimited, that basically is going to match the speed on the physical interface on the server where you are running your CHR. So you can see the prices here: $45, $95, and $250. So that's basically how the CHR licensing process is going to work. And now we'll learn how to add a license to one of the devices that I have in my GNS3 topology. So I will use one of my licenses that are available in my account, and then I will install a license in this device. In the very next class, we'll create an instance of a Mikrotik CHR in AWS. So let's see how this is going to work. So now I will go here to my GNS3 topology. So I have this device that is connected to my home network. So if I go to that device, so I will look for the router R1 that is over here. I will establish the connection to that device. So this is a CHR. Now I don't have any license installed on the device. So if I go to System and then License, so we can see that by default has the level 3. So that means that I can be running the device forever, and I won't have restrictions. The only restriction is going to be the speed on the interfaces. I won't be able to send more than 1 megabit per second. So if I want to install a license in that device, the first step is that we need to have an account in mikrotik.com. After having the account, then we can simply come to system and then license, and we need to type the username and password. So if I come here to renew license, this is going to ask for the account, that's the email that we have registered on mikrotik.com, the password, and also we can pick the license level. It's important to mention that the first time that we are renewing that license, we're going to get 2 months free. So we have 2 months to go to mikrotik.com and pay for the license. So let's say that I'm going to use the Big One license, that's for 1 gigabit per second. And now we're going to type the username and password. After doing that, you can see that now I get the message done here in the status bar. And if I go back to the license, now instead of free, I have the level P1. And you can see that the deadline is March 8th, 2023. That's 2 months ahead. And basically I have 2 months to pay for that license. And now the system ID that has been assigned to the CHR, this one ending on TA4J, is going to be registered in my account in mikrotik.com. And from there, we can simply pay for the license, and dynamically mikrotik.com is going to push that information to the CHR. So that means that the only step that we need is to associate the username and the password to register the system ID in mikrotik.com. And after that, mikrotik.com is going to be managing the licensing from their service. So let's see how this is going to work. So if I go now to my dashboard in mikrotik.com, and if I look for the CHRs, so if I can come here, all CHR keys, you will see that here I have the device that I just registered. So I have this TA4J, issued January 8th, expires March 8th. And if I want to pay for the license, I only need to click here in upgrade, and now I can pay for that license. If I go here to upgrade, I can select the level that I want, and basically if I click here on upgrade, I will continue a wizard, and finally I will get to the checkout, I will pay for that license, then mikrotik.com will be pushing that license to my instance. So this is how the licensing works for the CHR. At this point, the CHR is able to send up to 1 gigabit per second of data, all these interfaces. Thank you, and I see you in the next class where we'll create a CHR in AWS.